What's going on, everyone? It's Delenium here. I was on YouTube, today, and a friend of mine actually told me that he heard JL Rodriguez, his account had been suspended. And, I was actually quite surprised, and I went there, and I actually went and clicked on his account, and I saw it actually been completely terminated, which was, obviously a big shock to everyone. As Gerard Rodriguez has a lot of YouTube fans or people who watch his videos. I enjoy watching his, some of his videos. He seems like a cool guy, and with this as well, I've seen a lot of outrage that has gone with the actual with the closure of his account. I've been able to see I've read lots of comments of people being extremely upset. People, for example, people saying, Capcom, they're not going to buy any of Capcom's products in future, or how they should sign a petition to basically, get Gerard Rodriguez back. And, this is terrible. Capcom is being, they're being lousy. They're just being general all around, horrible. They're actually just being horrible to their fans, and, essentially, people, one thing I've noticed that, I understand where people are coming from about, especially for JR. I'd say if anyone would be upset, obviously it would be JR, as he had, quite a few videos. He had more than, 2,000 videos on his channel, and, this guy had more than 2,000 subs, but you guys also, basically, my point to the whole video is, and this is also in a response to Jayash's video, because I watched his video, and I can understand that it does seem kind of unfair as to for the uploader, that basically YouTube would remove the video, or basically close down the channel, which is even worse. And but the main thing is, but people have to actually look on the other side of the coin, because, and I'm talking as more from a business point of view. Now, if we go back to, if we just originally, if we say now, okay, Evil Ryu and Oni were originally supposed to be time release on a promotional schedule for May in 2011. Okay, so basically, because of this, I'm sure Capcom had a huge, they had the whole promotional, the whole PR thing planned out. They had the whole schedule planned out, how they were going to bring out, adverts, relating to the new characters, as they usually do. Then they would release, footage, this kind of thing. And basically, this has thrown a huge monkey wrench in their entire plans. And people need to understand now. The problem is now, okay, what has basically now happened is, and this happens with many companies as well, especially if we look at companies with if you look at companies such as Apple, people who work there, their employees are made to sign confidentiality agreements, and depending on what department you work, stating that you will not show this product, and or you will not talk about this product, because unfortunately, as a business, there's usually always one dickhead in your business, and unfortunately this time this person was on Ono's team. There's usually always one dickhead who will go and release information, or release or prototype, or sell a prototype when they're not supposed to, for their own personal gain. Someone could have come to, the Capcom, employee, this is just an example, or, someone could have come to him and said, okay, you know what, dude, I'll give you, $2 grand if you give me the time code. If you give me the code on how to release, Evil Ryu and Oni Akuma. And essentially, this code has then been passed on and passed on and passed on, and before and now, Capcom, they're basically trying to do damage control on what has basically been happening. Now for them, they had a huge PR planned out, how they were going to do things, and we all know how Capcom like to do things. They like to, they have a set months, they like to release, a character advert, like, an advert showing, a character, and then slowly releasing footage, and this footage, and I'm sure they had this all planned out, for the home console release, because the console is supposed to be, Arcade Edition is supposed to be released on, in early January. It's either between early January and late May. So these characters weren't supposed to be released on the arcade until May. So now they had this whole promotional planned out. So when it now was released on arcade in May, people would be, there would be more hype. People would be excited. Everybody, the buzz about it would be flowing about. The buzz, would be going. So more people would be excited to actually go and purchase this game from the store when it comes out. And unfortunately, and what this has done is, and when people don't realize, this is a huge disaster for them, because they are going to, Capcom could potentially lose millions from this. They could really lose millions from this, because obviously if you look from a business point of view, you cannot underestimate the power of buzz and the power, the power of excitement and being able to, to travel, because this could potentially double or triple your sales, because people are excited. Oh my God, I want to get my hands on, on Evil Ryu. I want to get my hands on Oni. I want to get my hands on, this character or that character. I'm going to run to the shop and get it today, like that kind of thing, and because of this, this has been horrible for them, and I can guarantee that someone in Capcom is actually getting fired for this. Obviously, Ono has already said on his Twitter page that he's taking, Ono is definitely taking some heat for this, but because he's so high up in the production team, they will not get rid of him. But I guarantee you, someone is getting fired right now, especially the person who's getting released, and you have to ask yourself. And now, not from a biased point of view, you have to now look into yourself and ask yourself, if you were, if you were the head of a business, and you had a whole business plan surrounded around, you had organized millions of dollars or pounds, surrounded around a promotion where things were scheduled to be released, and someone in your company has gone and released that kind of thing. Now the main question, and this I guarantee you, majority of you, 95 to 98% of you would be furious. You would be understandably furious. Now the question is, how does this relate to JR Rodriguez in terms of YouTube? They get frequent, okay, not necessarily use the word frequent, because I don't have, YouTube are constantly getting, sued or claims from companies, some trying to make money, by, for false reasons, and some being legitimate. YouTube are constantly getting claimed about their, what kind of media is being put on their their pages. Now, essentially, unfortunately for Gerard Rodriguez, he, has put the, Gerard Rodriguez is just a regular guy, who, and what the difference between JR and the other uploaders is because JR had a direct source to these Oni videos. So, he was constantly uploading videos, and the thing about YouTube I've noticed is that they tend to go after the big people, the people with the bigger subscribers, to kind of use them as an example, and to scare people into not uploading videos, and not uploading videos, basically. And the whole thing about it is, as with this, basically, I can guarantee you that Capcom have, and when you actually go to JR's page, you can actually see that JR, I thought this was just going to be a suspension, but they actually hit JR up with 3 strikes, in one go. So you could tell basically that these guys are not messing around. This is some serious business. Shit has hit the fan. Money will be lost, from this, that kind of thing. So people have, so you can tell that this shit is serious, man. So I'm just pretty much, I can pretty much guarantee that, someone in Capcom has made, a phone call to YouTube, and they're like, look, we need you to take those videos down right now, or we will sue you guys for millions. We will sue you, because this, you know, this is part of our business plan. Those videos should not be there, regardless of, you know, how they were gotten. Those videos should not be there. They weren't released by Capcom, so, you know, and it doesn't have to have been stolen from a Capcom account. It, you know, for what's it called again, for them to demand to take it down. Essentially, the video, you know, at the end of the day, they, you know, and when you look at it, YouTube are not going to turn around and say, oh, you know what, oh, I'm sorry, you know, when we look at it, YouTube have been threatened now with a lawsuit, a potential lawsuit, which could, you know, see them being charged with millions. Now, and they're not going to look at it and say, oh my god, you know what, no, we're not going to take down this guy's page, we're not going to, we're not going to, you know, take down this guy's page, you know, because, you know, he's one of our best, users of the YouTube accounts. And obviously that's not going to happen. You know, at the end of the day, it's not going to happen, because, you know, YouTube are not going to risk getting sued. And people have to think about it, you know, like, you know, at the end of the day, if you were the head, or if you were a company, are you going to put your business, you know, your potential earnings at risk because of one user? You know, and this is, you know, and unfortunately, you know, don't get me wrong, people have to understand, you know, obviously, JR, I really feel for the guy, man, you know, because obviously he is you know, this is, you know, it's a huge shame and it's a loss, because this guy's videos were loved. But, you know, I'm seeing a lot of comments saying, you know, this is bullshit from Capcom, you know, Capcom are being dickheads, you know, like, when you look at it, at the end of the day, Capcom are still a business. You know, their goal, there's, you know, as much as, you know, they try as hard as possible to, you know, make themselves accessible to, you know, to every potential consumer they have. They are still a business. Their goal is to make money. They don't do shit for free. You know, they still need money, you know, to make their future projects and other things. So obviously, you know, they have gone to YouTube and they've said, you know what, YouTube, you guys need to get that shit down, or we will sue you, that kind of thing. And YouTube has said, oh damn, you know, we don't want any of that. You know, there is no way in hell we're risking potential of millions, you know, getting sued. So they just say, you know what, instead of messing around with, you know, saying they're just going to take down, you know, the videos, they have just said, you know what, as an example to everyone, we are just going to shut this guy's channel down. We're going to show people that, you know what, damn, people should not mess around, you know, don't play around with this shit, because this is serious, because at the end of the day, someone's money has been messed with. You know, this at the end of the day, this is about money. You know, this is all that's all it's about. It's about money. You know, whatever black and white, however you want to put it, this is about money. You know, it's a shame. You know, I'm really, you know, and I can't stress, you know, how bad, you know, how fucked up this is for JR, because, you know, it's, you know, when he went to bed last night, I'm sure, I don't know whether this happened what time in America, because I'm in London. Excuse me. When he went to bed, I'm sure he didn't think, oh, by the time he woke up the next day, his account will be closed. You know, he just thought he was putting out videos for the community, you know, to show people what it was like, that kind of thing. But unfortunately for him, you know, like, unfortunately, this has been, you know, this has now activated a chain of reaction. You know, this has activated a chain reaction, you know, which, you know, goes back to Capcom. So they themselves are just basically just trying to do damage control, you know, and now it's for them to then, you know, come up with the next plan. I'm sure they're gonna have a board meeting and sit down and think, damn, how can we, you know, fully, you know, resolve what has happened? You know, how can we find a way, you know, to maybe, I don't think they would go as far as to scrap the two characters, you know, just because of the promotional release. You know, but but they would have to come up with some kind of plan to salvage, you know, potential profits. You know, this is no different from when albums, you know, some dickhead in a studio goes and releases someone's album, you know, an album you'd been working on for 2 years, someone released it, you know, and the shit was online, you know, and, you know, you didn't make any money from it. You know, this has been happening for a long time. This has been going on for years, you know, and obviously now Capcom, they not have to deal with it, you know. But unfortunately, but people need to understand. I mean, mainly the whole point of this video response is, you know, that I see a lot of people are angry, but you know, people also need to look at the other point of view. People need to understand as to why Capcom are doing this. You know, it's not, this isn't a personal vendetta against one person or anything. You know, this is, you know, about trying to save money. You know, which, you know, as much as, you know, as much as a lot of people are angry, you can't fault them for, because at the end of the day, we would all be doing the same thing if we were in their shoes. That kind of thing. So, you know, I don't know, this is, I hope people can understand where I'm coming from. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to bash anyone, but this is a two-sided coin. You know, you also have to think about, put yourselves in their shoes. You know, you built your whole circle, or you built your whole marketing scheme around, you know, around two characters, you know, and this could, you know, possibly demolish that. You know, it's basically ruined it. You know, your plans. You know, it's like planning a birthday for someone, and then, you know, and basically someone ruining the surprise. You know, it's bullshit. You know, that kind of thing. You know, unfortunately, I think the biggest problem here would be the dickhead who originally released these codes. That kind of thing. They are the biggest problem. You know, they cause all of this. That kind of thing. You know, I know JR will be back. You know, people don't need to mourn over. You know, like, the guy will be back. You know, he's just gonna, I'm sure he'll create another account. You know, I'll be there when he migrates to his new account. I'm sure to watch his videos. I'm sure a lot of people will be there to watch his videos. So, you know, it's annoying. It's a terrible inconvenience for him. But damn, you know, it is also a two-sided coin. You know, but anyway, this is my kind of view, my different sort of view from where, you know, about this whole thing. Anyway, I hope you guys have a nice day. Take it easy. Delim out.